Hello and welcome to Down the Track. Today we will be reviewing our game between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Delhi Capitals. We have with me Musti, who is of course an avid Sunrisers fan as well. How are you doing, bro?
Bro, I'm doing well. First win of the season. A lot of fun. Excellent game. I'm in a good mood today.
Yeah, absolutely. And then all the way from Hyderabad again, our guest today, Atif Haider, who's also a big Hyderabad fan from Hyderabad. How does it feel?
Oh, finally, good to be on the board. So happy that we got the win.
And I want to introduce our host, a very unbiased man. You can see from his T-shirt, he's a he's a neutral supporter of the IPL. That's why he's hosting the show. But today we're gonna drink orange, eat orange, sleep orange.
Absolutely. Chicken 65 is getting ready right now. But I think coming to the game, I think a pretty good performance by Sunrisers. A pretty overall good performance, batting, bowling, except for that catch in the end by Manish Pandey, which was way too casual by him. I think even fielding was pretty decent. I think they did a good job today. Nothing really to fault them for. The inclusion of Kane, Williamson and Abdul Samad makes this batting unit look a little bit better now. And the bowlers really came up with the goods today. The likes of Rashid Khan was incredible. The likes of Natarajan, who bowled Yorker after Yorker towards the end of the innings. That was very, very important. Then got the big fish in Stoinis. So I think overall complete performance. This is what you expect from a good team, and they came up with all the good things. So Atifi, coming to you, what did you think of the performance? Your initial thoughts?
When the inning started, I thought we were 10 runs short, honestly, because I thought that even though it was a slow wicket, I did think that we were 10 runs short, and I think even Delhi felt that they had a really good chance. But as Shreyas Iyer said in the comments later, they did not read the pitch well, and Hyderabad had played their last game here. Yeah. So they had a better idea, and they came out with a game plan, executed that game plan, and Delhi actually thought they'll go guns blazing and reach the total, but they misread the wicket, and I think that cost them because they started off well, but I think they didn't keep wickets like we did. I think that was the difference for me because Bairstow and Warner did bat a little longer. Shreyas Iyer threw away his wicket. Prithvi Shaw got out to a good ball from Bhuvi. So I think it was I think a bit of the tactics that won us the game, and obviously individual performances were very good.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, Busti, anything to chip in over there?
I mean, I agree with Atif. Excellent performance. But I told you yesterday, if the big players perform, they'll have a good chance to win. Like Warner performed, Bairstow performed, Williamson, Rashid, and then Bhuvi as well. So that the Sunrisers team has weaknesses. A lot of teams do have weaknesses, but this team will trouble other teams. Like Delhi, I think, is the best squad on paper, and they beat them. That shows they have match winners. And I think that's the main point, that they will lose games. There are weaknesses. They might not make the playoffs, but they have match winners in their team, and you will see them win games like this against tough opposition.
Yep, absolutely, and tournament wide open now. I think anyone's still up for that playoffs. I mean, this would have been a big loss for Sunrisers to take. I think. Your thoughts, Atifi?
I think what's becoming interesting now is the three venues are playing such a big role. Yeah. So I think that Sharjah is a huge, big scoring venue. The others are a little slower. So everyone is trying now to figure out where, which team works for them and then go forward accordingly. So I think now it's going to get interesting because everyone's got their first win on the board, and everyone is trying to see what combination works. I think every team is still making a change or two in every match, which is not the case when the IPL is played in India because you know your home ground. So I think now it's going to get interesting, but tournament is wide open. I don't think right now, if you ask me today, I don't see any clear favorites.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that I agree with that. Musti, the inclusion of Williamson and Abdul Samad making that batting look a little bit more potent, you think?
You called it, man. You said it before in your team previews. You said these two need to start in the 11. I didn't have Williamson in my starting. I thought they'll get him in the middle because of the team balance. I think, I think Abhishek Sharma helped that balance today. Like, if it wasn't for his 4 overs, he got hit for 2 sixes. But after he did such a good job, he was just going run a ball. So I think that helped. And Williamson, he's a class player, and it's not power. Just like he knows where the gaps are. it's a big ground. Abu Dhabi is probably one of the biggest grounds out of these 3 grounds, probably.
Yeah.
So, and he's still finding the boundary with ease. So he's a class player. I think now there will be a slight issue with the fifth bowler, but if Abhishek Sharma and then someone like Williamson or someone like Abdul Samad can chip in, brilliant. And Abdul Samad, I love him, man. What a six, bro. Like that six. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Norche. Yeah. So the way he hit him, that guy was bowling 145 clicks and he smashed him into the stand. So he looks an exciting prospect. I think they should keep playing him like a Yusuf Pathan type player, I think, and they should keep backing him for sure. And just one more thing, Natharajan and Abhishek Sharma, we talked about them. I think they played really well, but also a big difference. It's a very small thing, but it's a big difference was the running between the wickets between Bairstow and Warner. And if you saw in the first 6-7 overs, Delhi were 10-15 runs behind, and that's because of the single doubles those two were running, Bairstow and Warner.
100%. I think that was a very, very important thing, and those two are absolute. They've been doing it for they did last year as well. They continue to do it this year. So when they were not able to get the boundaries to be able to just knock it around, make those ones into twos into threes was very important for sure. Adivi, Rashid Khan's performance.
Oh, brilliant. Rashid Khan of the old, I would say last year, I think there were performances where he was up and down, but this was, the Rashid Khan of the first or second year, I would say, where impossible to hit, bowling smartly, bowling his googlies effectively. I think he made the right decisions when he was bowling, because I think initially he was trying to overdo it, but now he's bowling the googly at the right time. He's not pushing it too hard. He's letting the ball turn. So I think brilliant performance. This is what we need from him. We need him to be aggressive. We need him to come out and try and get the wickets. And if he continues to do this, then I definitely think we're a better bowling unit. Only if he performs well, because I see Bhuvi not really there as he was in the beginning. But if he performs like this, we definitely have a chance against any opposition.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was an incredible performance by him today. And then just quickly, if you want to make this very critical, the lack of an extra bowler could have caused that issue. So would you consider someone like Vijay Shankar, or even just go for an out-and-out bowler in place of Priyam Garg, as the batting is now starting to settle in? Would you consider that something you would think about?
100%. If you're asking me, 100%, yeah. I think Vijay Shankar instead of Priyam Garg is a wise decision because he'll provide with the ball as well. Yes, he's not been in the best of forms, but at least you have that backup for the fifth bowler, because Abhishek Sharma will have a bad day, and if you have other bowlers to chip in, I think that will help. But I think this is the team to play, and probably bring in Vijay Shankar. I think that'll be a very good move.
Yeah, I agree. I think like we discussed last time, most teams have a good 6 or even 7 options where they can get in and chip in and bowl. And again, for me, Vijay Shankar is not top choice, because he is someone who I think can be hit around the park very, very easily. He can go for 20-25 of 1 over, but you need that option. If Abhishek Sharma cannot bowl you the 4 overs every game, 2 and 2 sounds perfect for both of them to chip in. And Vijay Shankar definitely brings in more experience with the bat. Priyam Garg is still new, and at the position he's batting, he needs to just come out and hit a couple of sixes. And we've seen Vijay Shankar do it. Priyam Garg is still new. And just coming back to Abdul Samad, I've been following him from Ranji Trophy last year, and I've been telling everyone that, he needs a chance to play. And he's just such a clean hitter of the ball. I've been watching all his innings since he started the Ranji Trophy last year. And very, very Yusuf Pathan, like Musti said, just keeps his head straight and swings through the ball. So if he can actually get some innings under his belt, get some confidence, I think we have a good middle order batsman who can actually come in and finish the game for us. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, and some of his innings in the Ranji Trophy have been on tough pitches, like on turning wickets or a green top. So that Ranji Trophy is a longer game. So if he can bat like that, and hit, I think it augurs well.
And his innings, wherever he's hit 100, have been of like 60 balls, 70 balls.
Yeah.
And they've been big hundreds also. He's not like just hit 100 of 100 balls. He is playing Ranji Trophy. So normally if you play 150 balls for 100, I think most of his innings strike rate has been above 120, 30. So
natural ability. Exciting. Yeah, natural ability to strike the ball.
Yep, I think that kind of wraps up just one critical aspect. Again, and Atafi, we discussed this before the pod, but Kane Williamson at 4, is that his ideal position? I know they want to stabilize the middle order, but is that where you would want to see him?
I would say yes, because other options don't give him a chance to come up. I don't think Manish Pandey can play lower down. I think even 3 is low for him. I would want him to open, but obviously with Bairstow and Warner, you don't have that option.
Correct.
So you have to play Manish Pandey at 3 and Williamson at 4. And like you said, just to be a little more critical, if you're looking at the Sunrisers lineup, Khalil didn't do well. I was surprised with him because he is not thinking in bowling. Natarajan suddenly surprised me because I wasn't sure of his ability to bowl these Yorkers, and today he showed that he has that ability. So if he can continue doing that, then we have a very strong death bowler.
Yeah.
So you have someone like that bowl in the death, and then you probably rotate between Khalil, Sandeep Sharma, and Siddharth Kaul. So you have that option and variety going around. So I really think that it's a good thing that he got this confidence. And I just think bowlers, like the commentators were saying, I think it was Ian Bishop, just focus on your Yorkers. You're trying all these extra things. Bowlers are coming and trying to bowl slow ball bouncers. They're trying to bowl knuckle balls. You cannot hit a Yorker. It has been proven. It is the most difficult ball to hit. So just focus on that. And I think if the bowlers can do that, even though I think Sunrisers has got a slightly weaker bowling lineup this year, I think if they can do what they want to their strengths, I think they will maybe come into the top 4.
Yep. I think I agree completely. Bowling unit just clicked today for them, so they have those options and a couple of small things to think about. But at least they'll be happy with the performance today for sure.
They bowled 16 Yorkers today, more than any other team this season. So
yeah,
far,
absolutely. Yeah. I think Harshav Bogle also tweeted saying that absolute best utilization of the Yorker by Natarajan today.
Yeah, he bowled 9 of them. Yeah,
pleasing to see that. But coming to Delhi, just in general, like Atif mentioned earlier as well, they didn't read the pitch properly. But just in general, they were a little bit off color today in terms of the bowling and the batting. But what were your thoughts, Musti?
Yeah, so with Delhi, I think, like Atif said, they didn't read the pitch, but also they have an issue when the pitch gets slower. I think their batting doesn't suit pitches like these, but they still have an amazing team. What I'm really worried about is Shikhar Dhawan. I don't know what he's going to provide for them this season because his strike rate has been low. He's not scoring the runs. Last year, his strike rate was low, but he was rotating the strike, and the likes of Shaw and Iyer were hitting. But now he's consuming balls as well, a lot of dot balls. So I'm a bit worried about him. But in the bowling, I think Rabada was fantastic. Yes, Norche got hit a bit, but I think with Ashwin back, they'll be better off in the bowling. So I'm not worried about their bowling lineup. With batting, I think the opening slot, the Shikhar Dhawan slot, and when the pitches get slower, I'm a bit worried about them. I'm not sure how they're going to go, but overall, they're still an extremely strong side, and credit to Sunrisers for beating them today.
Yep, absolutely. Atif, any thoughts to add over there?
Yeah, I think Shikhar Dhawan's probably going to have competition with Ajinkya Rahane on the bench. So that is one option. And the second thing is I felt he did bat a little better today, Shikhar Dhawan. So maybe he's getting into form. But as Musti mentioned, if the pitch does get slower, I remember Iyer was playing this role where he was batting through the innings. Someone has to take that responsibility and be that sheet anchor where people play around him, because you have your hitters. Rishabh Pant and Hetmeyer can, come in and smash, how many ever sixes you want. But if they're not going to be sensible about it and only go out guns blazing and say, okay, Shaw is going to go and hit, Iyer is going to come and hit. Because I thought that was a really irresponsible shot from Iyer, because he didn't need to take that risk, and he started very slowly, so the pressure got to him. He was actually 1 of 6 balls or 1 of 7 balls or something like that. So I think it got to him. Whereas if you were just going to rotate the strike, it wasn't a huge total. And towards the end, I think they actually lost the game because it was always winnable. Because if Pant got a couple of sixes, Hetmeyer got a couple of sixes. If they would have continued, it would have been a close game. But credit to the bowling, obviously they got their wickets. But if these guys can bat around, these anchors that Iyer can provide, or Dhawan, I think that's both their roles. I think that's why they're in the team, to make sure that the collapse doesn't happen and play sensibly, because they're the captain, and obviously Dhawan's got so much experience. So I really think that on paper, very good side. Young again, if they can be a little sensible, utilize their batsmen to the best of their abilities and not throw it away, I think the tournament is definitely theirs for the taking. They probably be in the finals. But bowling wise, very strong unit. Ashwin coming back could change it. So I think it's just about how sensibly they play, and if they can take the pressure, if the youngsters can handle the pressure, this is key for them.
Yep, I think some very valid points over there. But moving on, a player of the match, Atif?
A little confused between Rashid Khan and Natarajan, but I'd give it to Natarajan because, you expect this from Rashid Khan. This is his bowling. I mean, this is what he does. Natarajan was something we hadn't seen before. So I think for me, it's Natarajan coming in, and side player of the match to Abdul Samad, because we are all just rooting for him. So we want him to do really well. He took a good catch also in the first, I think 6 overs. I think he took a good catch. So I think Natarajan gets the player of the match.
Yep, I think I'd agree with you completely over there. Musti, your player of the match?
I'm going to go a bit different, but I just want to say Rashid Khan is my favorite cricketer. Afghan Chalebi, he's a legend. He's a legend, but I'm going to Kane Williamson because that's where the problem was for Sunrisers in the last 2 games. And that innings, I think, gave them the runs to defend. And it allowed Rashid Khan to bowl how he bowled and gave the likes of Bhuvi and Khalid, Natarajan some runs to defend. So I think that innings was the game changer for me. So I would give it to Williamson. A bit different, but like still Rashid Khan, you can't mess with that. He's my favorite.
Yep, absolutely. I think I'd have to agree with both these player of the matches. If it was me, I'd give it to both of them because I love Kane Williamson. He's probably my most favorite batsman that's not an Indian. So I just
that's
really
what
like
was missing in the last game, right? When they made 140.
Exactly.
If he was there, it could have been 160, 170 odd.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, I think that wraps up today's game. Happy SRH contingent over here. Moving on to tomorrow's game, we have Kolkata versus Rajasthan.
When is Chennai playing, man? It's been so long.
They have a week off. They play Friday next against us.
So long, man. Okay. Yeah.
So we have Kolkata against Rajasthan. Rajasthan's coming out of Sharjah, which is where they played their first 2 games and scored a lot of runs. So now a little bit of a different pitch. Kolkata has played here before. So what are your initial thoughts, guys? Atif, you want to start off that one?
I'm going to go with Rajasthan. I think even though they played their first 2 games in Sharjah, belter of a wicket, I think they're just looking a confident side. SRH is looking a little up and down, looking a little Kolkata. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Kolkata is looking a little. I don't think they have their strongest lineup yet again, and their dependence on Andre Russell, Sunil Narayan's out of form, and it's a slow wicket. So if he's not going to be hitting and giving them the start, then they have some things to think about. So I really think Rajasthan's going to probably come up on top, and it's going to be a struggle for Kolkata because if they don't get their batting in order, it's going to be a tough season.
Yep, I think they won against Sunrisers their last game. They started to look a little bit better, but as you mentioned, for sure there's that little bit of an issue in terms of trying to get that middle to lower order start to. I mean, Andre Russell hasn't really gotten a game. He had the first game where he didn't perform, but second he didn't need to come on. Yeah. But there's those small issues that they need to work with. But they had a decent game against Sunrisers for sure, so they take some confidence from that. And then Musti, your thoughts?
I feel there's going to be a huge difference in the ground, but Rajasthan have the players to adapt. They have Steve Smith and Uthappa who like to rotate the strike, so I don't think they'll be too worried about the ground. They still have the players. Butler's a world-class player as well, so I don't think the ground will affect them too much. Yes, they'll have to change their style, but I still feel that they will be favorites. For KKR, you need the big guns to start. Narayan, Morgan, Russell, Cummins, they need to start firing. And if they do, then they can make a game out of it. But I think right now, Rajasthan skyrocketing confidence, even though it was in Sharjah, but still, like winning games like that is just unbelievable. So I just watch out for Tewatia, man.
I was definitely going to bring him up. You can't have a pod without bringing him up. But yeah, I think... both of you going with Rajasthan. I'm just going to go with KKR. I just feel like that team has what it takes. Of course, they need their big guns to fire and all of that stuff. I just felt like Cummins, after a poor first game, came into the second game pretty well, and he takes that confidence into that. He's a world-class bowler. If Kuldeep can really pick it up a little bit a notch, if he can really do that, and then Narayan can support him, I think this team has what it takes. I think
Nitish Rana looked good as well. I forgot about that. He looked good as well. It's going to be a good game. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Morgan in the middle gives that a lot of that stability for that middle order. So I just feel like they have a little bit of a touch. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Rajasthan goes out and wins this one easily, but just going with the gut over there. But yeah, your player to watch out, Musti?
Rahul Tewatia. Yeah, and for if you want to ask about KKR, then Cummins,
yep,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think
Atif, for you?
I think for Rajasthan, Sanju Samson.
Yeah.
I'm just loving the way he's batting, so I want to watch his innings every time. And for KKR, I think Kuldeep, because he can actually change the game for them. And it's going to be a very, very good battle between him and Sanju Samson if they get going, because lovely player of spin, and he's going to actually go for his wickets. So it's going to be a good contest between both of them.
Yeah, I think that's Rahul Tewatia gets the popular choice award over here as well. I just want to I just want to see how he goes after such an incredible turnaround in the last game. I'd like to see how he goes, and I'd agree with Atif. I just want to see Kuldeep really take it up a notch in his bowling, and if he can do that, I think Kolkata has a very good chance over there.
Yeah, so, and I just want to ask both of you guys, how important will it be for the batsman from Rajasthan to like actually follow through and hit those shots? Because, you know, in Sharjah, you just time it and it goes flying out of the ground. So how important will it be to like make sure you time it and strike it hard in Dubai for Rajasthan? Atif, you can go first.
I think it's going to be, that's something they have to actually adapt to and make sure they run well. Yeah. So that's going to be very, very important, because I don't think you're going to actually be able to strike it out of the ground so easily like you were doing in Sharjah. So I think you need to adapt it. But players like Butler and
for them it's
all these guys, I mean, for them, you give them a 90-meter boundary and they still hit it outside. So I think it's going to actually fall back on the players who are. I think Tewatia is going to have a tough time, because he was hitting it on the short side.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
He was actually going to hit it on the short side, so he's going to get caught out if he tries that. But if they can run well, I think Robin Uthappa needs to not hit those, just time beautiful. He just lofted a catch the last time, and it was a small ground, so they need to actually go through with their shots, like you said, and run. Running between the wickets is going to be key.
Yeah, we're done.
I think Tewatia doesn't go up the order this time for sure. I doubt that's going to happen. I'd be surprised if that happens. But I think Adhavi is absolutely right. I think just have to really follow through with the whole thing. Complete the shot, and the likes of Butler, Samson, Smith, you're not worried about these guys. But if it comes to the likes of Tewatia and Robin Uthappa, kind of trying to finish that innings for whatever reason, you need them to really go through with their shots and really finish it completely. It's not easier said than done for sure, and the pitches will be slower. It's not going to come on as nicely as it comes on in Sharjah. So you really need to adapt well, and the guys who can do that better will be the guys who will win the game tomorrow. That's the only reason I have Kolkata edging it as well, because these guys have played a game in this pitch, so they know the conditions a little bit better. You saw Sunrisers benefited from it today, so I just feel like Kolkata has that little bit of a benefit. But yes, Rajasthan for sure, they have what it takes. I just feel like even though they have what it takes a little bit of time for a new pitch to just get used to it. That's something that
I actually wanted to also, I forgot about it because like Tewatia has mesmerized me, but even Jofra Archer will be very interesting to watch, I think, because he's been playing in Sharjah, small grounds. I think he'll love this ground in Dubai, and I think him and Cummins, that battle will be amazing, like which fast bowler will pick up more wickets and who will bowl better.
Yeah, I think Kolkata has the better spinners in terms of Kuldeep and Narayan versus the likes of Gopal and Tewatia over here. So I think that's just and in a pitch that kind of somewhat favors the spinners a little bit. That's why that little bit of an edge. But it can go either way. It'll be a cracker of a game again, and all of these games have been crackers. So it's just going to be fun to watch for sure. I think that wraps up the pod. I think thank you guys for joining, and we'll catch up soon again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you.